Death comes for everyone at some point in our short lives. It's something we can't escape from. And the same goes for the rich and the famous of this world too. Sure, they have the money to delay their fateful meeting with death, but that's not always the case. On more than one occasion, celebrities have found themselves face to face with the Grim Reaper. Some of them died way before their time. Some of them were a little luckier. They almost died and returned from the other world to describe their near-death experience. I'm Mike with List 25, and here are 25 celebrities who nearly died and few knew about it. In 2014, a driver of a Walmart truck slammed into Tracy Morgan's limo van. As a result, he severely injured the 30 Rock star and killed one of Morgan's comedy writers, James McNair. Morgan sustained brain trauma, a broken leg, and broken ribs in the accident, and spent over a month in the hospital.
24.
George Clooney loves riding scooters in Italy, as he has admitted before. This, however, could have been fatal for the Hollywood megastar. During the summer of 2018, Clooney had a scooter accident that could have easily killed him. According to the local reports, a car cut him off, and they collided. Clooney jumped 20 feet into the air from the impact of the collision and flew over the car that he hit. He was lucky enough to walk away with just scrapes and bruises this time.
23.
In 2007, Owen Wilson came close to taking his own life. He was covered in blood and in a state of confusion when he was discovered by his brother Luke. He had tried to take his life at the age of 38 by overdosing on pills while simultaneously slitting his wrist.
22.
The legendary singer Ozzy Osbourne came close to death a few times, mainly from overdose during his lifetime. However, in 2003, he came the closest in an ATV accident. Plus, he was actually sober when it happened. Osbourne suffered a broken collarbone, 8 fractured ribs that pinched several blood vessels, and a damaged vertebrae in his neck. He said, "The bloody thing nearly killed me. I'm lucky to be here today and not dead or paralyzed."
21.
Leonardo DiCaprio survived a shark attack back in 2006. The famous actor revealed his terrifying story during an interview with Ellen DeGeneres in 2014. During an underwater expedition in Cape Town, the actor was feeding a great white through a shark cage. A big wave flipped the cage though, and the shark landed with half its body inside. Leo flattened down at the bottom of the cage while the big shark kept trying to take a bite of him.
20.
Martin Lawrence suffered a heat stroke in 1999 that almost killed him. Lawrence was wearing several layers of clothing while jogging in the heat in an attempt to lose weight for a role. When he returned home, he had a temperature of 107. Lawrence was rushed to the hospital where he briefly slipped into a coma.
19.
Jane Seymour was one of the most beautiful Bond girls ever, but you probably already knew that. What you may not know is that she almost died when she was only 36. Seymour had a severe case of the flu and was given an injection of penicillin. She suffered an allergic reaction which led to a near-death experience that changed her life forever.
18.
Rachel Bilson almost died in a car accident when she was 14. She basically died and came back from the dead, as she often describes her near-death experience. The actress suffers from migraines to this day as a result of her injuries back then.
17.
In 1988, Gary Busey had a scary motorcycle accident. He suffered from a cracked skull, and doctors thought he may have permanent brain damage. He wasn't wearing a helmet at the time of the crash, but he miraculously survived. Since then, Busey went on doing some awesome movies, including Point Break and Predator 2. Wear a helmet, like we said in that previous video. Previous is this way for you guys. This is future.
16.
In Rocky IV, Balboa defeats Ivan Drago in the Russians' backyard. In real life, however, things were a little different. Sylvester Stallone wanted the fight scenes to look realistic, so he kept pushing Dolph Lundgren to hit him harder. Lundgren agreed not to hold back and punched Stallone so hard in the chest that he almost killed him. Like, literally. Stallone's heart slammed against his breastbone and began to swell. The beating became labored, and without medical attention, the heart would have continued to swell until stop, Stallone said in an interview, who spent a couple of weeks in an intensive care unit.
15.
Drew Barrymore revealed in a 2017 interview that she almost died while filming Santa Clarita Diet. During a scene that the famous actress had to jump on a man's back, she slipped off and hit her head on concrete. Paramedics arrived on set and took the actress to a nearby hospital. She took all kinds of tests via MRIs and CAT scans for the next 48 hours. Barrymore described the traumatic experience as f***ing terrifying.
14.
In 1979, Donald Sutherland was ill with meningitis. According to his claims, the pain, fever, and acute distress seemed to evaporate. Sutherland saw himself floating above his body, surrounded by soft blue light. I began to glide down a long tunnel, away from the bed, but suddenly I found myself back in my body. The doctors told me later that I actually had died for a time, the actor said in an interview.
13.
The baddest and toughest dude in all of Hollywood could be dead now. Yep, Jason Statham almost died after truck brakes failed on the set of Expendables 3. The badass from Sherbrooke had to leap from a wagon he was driving seconds before it plunged 60 feet into the sea. Spoilers.
12.
Johnny Depp nearly met his maker while shooting The Lone Ranger, which no one saw. During a stunt that went horribly wrong, Jack Sparrow slipped out of his saddle and underneath the hooves of the horse he was riding at a full gallop. The famous actor not only was lucky enough to walk away with his life from all this, but he did so unharmed too. Unlucky they kept filming.
11.
Orlando Bloom almost died when he was 21. How? Well, he fell 3 stories attempting to climb a drain pipe. The injury left the actor paralyzed for several days, but fortunately for him, he survived.
10.
Isla Fisher feared for her life when a stunt went terribly wrong on the set of the film Now You See Me. She got panicked when chains became tangled during her underwater stunt. The scene demanded from the actress to bang desperately on the glass walls to make the scene look realistic. The thing is, she couldn't breathe for real. For her good luck, she managed to get free and get out of the water before it was too late. That's terrifying.
The moment you said the actress's name, I knew where this was going.
That's so to be like, no, that's great.
9.
The 2008 South Carolina Learjet 60 tragic crash claimed the lives of 4 people. The plane reportedly had a tire blowout, which caused the pilot to attempt a rejected takeoff. The 2 survivors, drummer Travis Barker from Blink-182, suffered severe burns, but didn't die. The pilot, co-pilot, a security guard, and Travis Barker's personal assistant were instantly killed. Barker required 16 surgeries, including many skin grafts and blood transfusions after the accident.
8.
In 2016, Ellie Goulding nearly drowned after driving over a frozen lake in Norway. She shared her almost deadly experience with the fans on Instagram. As you do. Hopefully not at the time. Really hoping not live streaming.
7.
Game of Thrones star Emilia Clarke nearly died after suffering 2 brain aneurysms in 2011. Her health problems began soon after she finished filming the popular TV show's first season. Her condition required a life-saving surgery. She recently talked openly about her dramatic experience and shared images of her hospitalization. I'm sorry, I didn't mean Game of Thrones Emilia Clarke. I meant solo star Emilia Clarke.
6.
50 Cent cheated death in 2000 when he was shot 9 times. He recalls the incident, saying, "It happened so fast that you don't even get a chance to shoot back. I was scared the whole time." The famous rapper had wounds in his hand, hip, both legs, chest, and his face. Of all the places to get shot, probably not the face. That would be the least fun.
5.
Joaquin Phoenix almost died when his brakes failed back in 2006 off of famous Sunset Boulevard in Los Angeles. The famous star lay upside down in his flipped car. In a strange twist of fate, German director Werner Herzog pulled him to safety. The filmmaker also stopped Phoenix from lighting a cigarette, which would have burst his car into flames. According to Herzog, gasoline was dripping all over the car after the accident. Yeah, don't do that.
4.
As a teenager, Ryan Reynolds pursued a skydiving license with a group of friends. After a number of successful jumps, the 13th proved to be true to its name: unlucky. His parachute failed to deploy, causing him to plummet wildly to the ground below. Ryan told Jimmy Fallon that he was scared to pull his emergency chute for fear of having no backup. Thankfully, the reserve pool saved the famous actor, but he still retains a fear of flying.
3.
Sharon Stone confessed during an interview that she had a near-death experience. Stone almost died in 2001 after internal bleeding was caused by a tear in an artery at the base of her skull. Stone claimed to see a giant vortex of light when her brain hemorrhage struck.
2.
Nikki Sixx had a few near-death experiences. However, none of them is as notorious as the one on December 23, 1987. After a night of drug-fueled partying with his buddies, Sixx injected in his veins one last shot of heroin. He passed out cold and turned blue within a few seconds. The bassist of Motley Crue was declared dead after they failed in the ER to bring his heart back. After a few minutes, though, Sixx raised from the dead and left the hospital like a gentleman. Blitzed out of his mind on heroin.
Yeah, that's his own fault.
Yeah, no, it is.
Like a gentleman? Who wrote that?
I don't know.
1.
George Lucas didn't have a lot of plans and ambitions as a youngster. He only wanted to race cars and have fun with his friends. 3 days before he graduated from high school, though, he got involved in an almost fatal car crash. For 3 days, he hung between life and death. He was hospitalized for 2 more weeks. During that time, he realized his purpose in life, and a few years later, he changed Galaxy's history for good.
Now this is pod racing.
And that's probably where it comes from. That's probably what he said. He hadn't come up with Star Wars yet, with his friends. Now this is pod row! That's probably more how it sounded.
Did you have a question for the audience?
So, are you a famous celebrity that almost died once? Let us know in the comments below.
You almost died from tetanus.
I've almost died a couple times.
Yep.
The garbage, the dumpster. I didn't almost die from tetanus. Damn kangaroos.
All right, well, just pretend we asked you guys a question.
I did.
Okay.
Are you a celebrity that almost died?
Enjoying our lists? Be sure to click that subscribe button on the bottom right and the notification bell so you don't miss out on new ones every Monday through Friday. Share them with friends and help us consistently conciliate curiosity. And if you want even more lists, check out these videos here or just head to our website at list25.com.